In order to back up your projects, you need to export the patterns and samples separately. At some point, you will need to back up your creations. So in this video, I will show you how to export patterns and samples, factory reset the P-6, import the patterns and samples back again. I will also show you two ways to import samples, one being using the P-6 app. If you have like a preferred set of drums, all you have to do is drag them back in. I'm on a PC, but same applies if you're on a Mac. Here I have a beat I did recently, and this is my way of structure things. Bank A, I have drum samples and bass. And bank B, I have samples on all of the 6 pads. This first pad I used the chop feature, and by doing so you hold down shift and enter the voice like so, and scroll to chop and enter, and here it says 4 and it sounds like this. So there's my main samples. Move on to bank C. I have a random piano sample that I never used. I will copy over 2 sounds, and I want to demonstrate a thing later in this video. So let's do that. Let's copy this one. Let's copy, enter, and I want to place it on C2, enter. And let's do like this. Now copy this over to the third. Now I have these 2. I have 4 patterns going, and I will play the beat at the end of the video. A quick heads up, this process is a bit tedious, a lot of powering on and off the device. But yeah, let's start with exporting the patterns. Let's power it off. Let's start with exporting the patterns. Power on while holding the play button. A new window will pop up with a backup folder. Now create a new folder. I've already created one, and I also created a patterns folder. Let's open up the backup folder. Here's my patterns. So I'm gonna take my 4 patterns, and I'm gonna drag them into my patterns folder. Here I have my 4 patterns. All I have to do is press the keyboard button. It says done. I can power it off. Now let's move on to the samples. In order to back up the samples, you need to do them one at a time. Not one sample, but one bank. And you access the banks in 2 ways. For bank A to D, you hold down the bank you want to export and power it on. And you can see sampling flashing, and you can let go. A new window will pop up with an export folder with a corresponding bank folder. Here I have bank A. I know I have all my drums in bank A, so I will drag bank A into my new folder. Once that's done, I will hit the keyboard and power off, and let's say if I had something in bank E, I then need to hold down the sampling button and bank AE. So hold down the sampling button and the first bank with A and E. And now these two are flashing, and let's see. Yeah. Now I have everything backed up. Note, you don't have to export all the banks unless you have sounds in all of your banks. So my next step is to factory reset. I guess you can do it manually by deleting all the pads and clear all the patterns. I leave that up to you. Here's how you factory reset the P-6 with everything backed up on your computer. Hold down the keyboard button and power it on. All you have to do now is press the granular button and bada bing bada boom. I can see it's flashing and the process is taking place. And now when it's all done, all the LEDs will be flashing, and all you have to do now, it says done, turn it off, and let's see if I power it back on. The BPM will be set to 120. That's the default, and I have no sounds whatsoever. Now let's restore the patterns and samples. Let's start with the patterns. Hold down the record button and turn on the unit. New window with a restore folder will appear. All I have to do now is drag my patterns into the folder like so, and press the keyboard button, and it says done, and I can power the unit off. Now for the samples, by holding down sampling, turn on the unit. This is also how you connect to the app. This is the easiest part. Open up the import folder. All I have to do now is grab all my banks and drag them into the import folder. It doesn't say overwrite or anything. So by doing so, all I have to do now is press the keyboard button. Done. Now I can power off the unit. Quick before I show you the beat, the thing I mentioned earlier about the two ways of importing samples. Connect to the P-6 app by holding down sampling, turn on the unit. The import folder will pop up again. Now here's the thing, I had all my samples, my drum samples in bank A, so let's check it out. It's empty, and you might think, what the hell, didn't I import all the samples? Yes, you did, and don't you worry. Let's move over to the P-6. Let's connect to the app, and in the app you will see these pink pads, which indicates that the slots are taken. Let's see, bank B, all the slots are taken. Third C bank, I had this random piano sample and these two drum samples I copied over. You can drag a new sample into the editor and adjust it. I can downsample it if I want. I can drag it into one of the slots like so, and I can hit transfer, transfer done, hit keyboard, and I have to turn it off, turn it back on. That's one way of doing it. Let's connect to the P-6 app again. So yeah, I know I have 3 samples in my bank C. I have this random piano sample, the new kick I transferred, and the other kick that I copied over, but I can actually go into the import folder. Let's see, bank C and pad 3. Let's drag a clap. Let's hit the keyboard on the unit. Done. Power off, power on. Let's see, 93 It should say 93, yes. Okay, let's see if all my samples are here. They are. Bank B. Let's see, Bank C. The random piano sample. And if you remember, I copied this kick over to pad 2 and 3. Let's see if the other samples I transferred came over. Yeah. The one I transferred through the app, and here's the clap I just dragged into the folder itself. So you can actually overwrite them by dragging the samples directly into the right bank and pad folder and then press the keyboard button. I hope this video helps. Good luck. Let's play the beat, and I hope you like it. Let's start with pattern number 4. There you have it, how you can back up your patterns and samples and restore everything. Bada bing, bada boom. Catch you in the next one.